Karyn from Our Sufficient Life. Look at the new sign my handy Dan made. I love it. Now if you're here, I know that you're a gardener. And if you're a gardener, you know that the spring garden does not start when you put the first plant in the ground or the seeds in the soil. The garden starts in January and February when you're doing all of the planting. And this year we are way busy. We are trying to get our homestead started. We're trying to finish the chicken coop before May. We are starting to plan our 4 seasons greenhouse, and so we've got all that on our minds. And so I decided I'm going to see if I can find some free tools online to help us. And I know if it's going to help us, it's probably going to help you. So today I'm going to give you my top 6 resources for planning your garden and managing it. So let's get right to it. And I just want to let you know that the best tool with the most features, and it is awesome, is the last tool I'm going to talk about. So you want to stay tuned for that one. And also, just so you know, I'm providing links to everything that I am going to go over today. The first tool we're going to take a look at is at Gardenerscom. It is the home of Gardener Supply Company. But what I want to take a look at is they have an advice area, it's called. And in the advice area, you have all different kinds of how-tos. But the thing I want to take a look at is the kitchen garden planner. So we're going to go there. Now, they do have a place where you can design your own garden. Look, and you can see it's under construction. So that is not going to be my top tool for actually pointing and clicking and designing your own garden because it's under construction and I can't look at it. So we're going to take a look at their pre-planned garden section. Now notice it says use square foot gardening techniques to create a raised bed garden. You do not have to use raised beds to do this. And you do not have to use the square foot gardening techniques that they suggest, but the pre-planned gardens do have the gardens divided into square feet. Now the whole idea of square foot gardening does save you time, does save you money, does save you from watering so much and weeding so much. And we're going to go over that a little more later, but let's take a look at these pre-planned gardens. Now the whole idea of these gardens is to plant things that like each other, that you can plant together, that are beneficial for each other. But we're going to take a look at one of these just so you can see what it looks like. We're going to take a look at the All-American. Okay, so here you can see that they have it all plotted out for you by square foot, not just what to plant, but how many to plant in that square foot area. You can scroll down also and get planting guides for everything that they are suggesting. So if you don't really want to sit there and maybe you're a beginning gardener, you want just somebody please tell me what to plant and where to plant it. This would be your location right here. Now if you do want to plot out your own garden, that's the tool at the end. You need to see it, so stay tuned. Now in my opinion, every gardener should know about companion planting. These are plants that you can grow with each other to save space. So I'm including a couple of free PDFs that will have a lot of information on companion planting. This one is from KelloggGarden.com. In this guide, it's going to give you charts, detailed descriptions, and the plant benefits and planting resources. Let's just take a real quick look here. It kind of gives you an idea of what companion planting is. But it will give you, for example, here for tomatoes, it will give you what you can plant with the tomatoes, with the blue squares, and what you should avoid planting together because they don't go well together. Maybe they zap the nutrients one or the other needs, or maybe they attract a pest or an insect that would be harmful to the other one. So anyway, You've got a really handy nice chart here, and then it's got resources as well. But for example, one of the best tomato companion plants is basil. If you plant it around the base of your tomato plants, it says that not only does this delicious and fragrant herb naturally repel destructive pests, but basil will actually enhance the flavor of your tomatoes. You need to know about companion planting. Now, if you already know about companion planting and what you really want is just some great handy-dandy PDF tool to download, here you go. Okay? This is a one-sheet companion planting chart wonder. I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to blow it up a little bit so you can see what it is. But you've got vegetables and fruits all along the top. You've got vegetable and fruits along the side here. Your chart, a smiley face if they're a good companion plant, an X if they're antagonistic, so you shouldn't plant them together. If we look at cabbages, we can go and cross and we can see we have an X for garlic. You should not plant cabbages and garlic close together. You just shouldn't do it. And really handy on this one-page chart that you can print out is some natural insect repellent tips. So if you have trouble with ants, these are the things that you can plant to keep ants away. If you have trouble with mildew, mosquitoes, aphids, on and on and on. One thing you need to be careful though when using this is something that deters the cabbage butterfly. Okay, it deters the butterfly. Rosemary, mint, dill, sage, hyssop, garlic. If you want to repel the cabbage butterfly in your cabbage patch, it's listing, garlic repels them, but according to our companion planting, it's a big fat X. You should not plant cabbages and garlic together. So use the chart with a little bit of caution, make sure you're looking everything up and knowing what you're doing. But that's a really handy one-page chart that you can just print out and use. Now I mentioned that we were going to talk a little bit about square foot gardening. As you can see here is you get a compact garden. You are utilizing every square inch of your garden for growing. So you can grow more in a smaller garden. You don't have to water it as much. You don't have to weed it as much because of the dense garden. So it's a time saver. And this is something that I'm going to be doing this year with my garden. But I want to mention it to you because this is a really handy guide from Taylor County Extension Service in Wisconsin. Okay? And this is downloadable. But what it's going to give you is pretty much all of the basics that you need to know in order to start a square foot garden, all in one spot. So, and then at the end, it gives you a nice little chart of different things and how many you can plant in 1 square foot. If you want a little bit more extensive chart, Carlsbad Community Gardens.org offers up this PDF that is a one-sheet deal, just like that companion planting, print out one sheet and you're good. And it gives a pretty good list of all the different plant types and how many you can plant per square foot. So again, I'm linking to all this stuff in the description, and you'll be able to go there yourself and download it. And now for the absolute best. You are going to love this. This is a garden planning tool that you can use online. It's called VegPlotter. It has an extensive list of features that you can use for free. It's all free. All you have to do is sign up for an account. It'll ask you where you live so it knows about your planting seasons and your frost dates. When you sign up, you customize kind of your profile. This was developed by a gentleman out of the UK. His name is Richard Lewis, and he's just doing it all for free. So if I go up here, I'm already logged in. I go up to my plot. I can create a new plot right here. but I'm going to go to one that I've already done. I have a raised bed garden. I'm just going to click on this raised bed garden that I've already done. Okay. Now, notice I've got 4 plots here. If I want to add a new plot to my garden, there's handy tools right here up in the upper right-hand corner. I can add a rectangular bed if I'm doing regular row planting. I can add an irregular shaped bed if I'm planting around something. I can add a square foot gardening bed, which is what I have done since I'm going to do square foot gardening. But also you can add all kinds of structures. So you could do your whole entire garden. You can add beehives, brick walls, chickens, cold frames, compost bins, fencing, all kinds of fencing, all kind of path, walkway areas. You could literally design your entire garden right on this with this tool. So one of the things you want to do is make sure that when you create a new garden that you give it a name, and you'll know why in a little bit. You give it a name. Here you can adjust the width and the length, and because it was done in the UK, it's automatically set to meters, and you can change that unit of measurement here if you need to. So, and then you just click update and you just go to town. All right, notice I'm in February of 2021. I have nothing planted. What you need to do is make sure that you are on the right month before you start adding plants to your garden. So for example, if I go over to April, and this is just an example, I'm not probably really going to do this, but I want you to see it. So in April, and I'm going to go down here to the little plus sign and make it a little bigger so you can see it. But here's April, all right? So I've added some plants in here. It tells me I need to start this in a pot. Okay, here it tells me I can plant these direct sow from a seed. All right, now, so in April I'm planting these, and it's easy to plant something. You just go over here to add a plant. You can search for it here, and it's literally just, if I wanted to plant beans, I just grab it, drag it over here, and drop it on there. How much easier can that get? All right, so now the next month in May, I wanted to plant a bunch of tomatoes. I don't know where I'm going to plant it or how I'm going to plant it yet, but I put them in here so you could see that when you go to the next month, then if there's something I'm going to plant in June, I will add it in June on this. Now at any point in time, I can take what's on my screen and I can hit this little camera right here, and it will give me a snapshot that I can either download or print out. Now, why is it important to follow this monthly thing? Well, that's because it also tracks what jobs you need to do. So if you go up to the top and click My Jobs, we are in June 2021. We're going to go back to April. This is when my first plantings are. But if I go back even farther, it tells me that in March, I should sow these indoors. And it will tell me how many I need to sow, what garden it goes in, and which bed, because I named my garden beds. Isn't that awesome? Now, unfortunately, I haven't found any way to print this out other than just going to your browser and clicking print, and it will print it out. It's not like super pretty, and it does, take up some paper, but you can print that out. So this is really, really an awesome tool, and I am going to be using this, and it's completely free. So there you have it. My top free tools for the busy gardener. If you use one of these tools, please comment and let me know what you think of it. If you have something to use, let me know. And don't forget, there are links in the description to everything that I have gone over today. we certainly hope that you're having a great day, and we'll see you next time.